Right, what we've got here is our traditional puddings. Now, they originated somewhere in the 1850s in England, and there was already steak and kidney pies, but this suet pastry and the steaming of this pudding was around that time, 1850, but you know, that's when it was recorded. It could have been a lot earlier. Let's peel back a bit of the top from this one. Okay, this has got the kidney in it. So I'm just going to put that down to one side there. I'm going to have a little fish through. And yep, there's some chunks going on in there. So I'm going to do a little bit of a try of this and compare it with this one. There is a distinct taste. Let's have a look at the pastry. This is another one. This is another bit of a strange one. Now, we cook in a lot of chippies here in the UK. We cook in beef dripping. We cook mostly in oil now, but there is still a lot of fish and chip shops that do cook in beef dripping. Now, to some other countries, like in the US, that's classed as a tallow. But here in the UK, we quite often consider tallow to be the rendered suet fat. Now, the suet fat, I did when I was an apprentice butcher, used to get these big lumps of fat, and they were around the kidneys and other little parts of the carcass, towards the loins, say. And it was funny. It was like crumbly cheese. It wasn't like fat when you slice it off a steak. It's the strangest kind of texture. Well, that's the suet, and that's what's used in a lot of pastries. Now, to create tallow in the UK, we'd render the suet fat down slowly over a simmer. It could be for an hour or more, and until it becomes sort of gluey. And then that we could put into jars, and we could use it as a spread. Mountaineers would use it, Arctic explorers, anywhere, any sort of adventurer or people in cold climates will use that. And you can see that it's a putty kind of pastry because it doesn't set like ordinary pastry. Now, the Native Americans, going back hundreds and hundreds of years, maybe thousands of years, they used rendered fat, and they would get little bits of meat from whatever it was they were cooking. Now, it would be bison, I would presume, deer, that kind of thing. And they would render that down with mashed up or little tiny strips, or grated, if you like, bits of meat. They'll mix it up with that, and it will stay stored. You know, they can keep that for months on end, get them through the winter in some cases. And they will eat that. They will eat that by the spoon. We have used it in soap and Christmas puddings, cakes, pies. And this is getting cold, and I'm getting hungry. So, tallow, that suet is usually beef suet or lamb suet. Pig fat is something completely different. I think they call it leaf lard, and it's a tubular, cylindrical lump of fat around the kidneys with the pig, and it's not the same, so it doesn't really get used like that. So it's usually, like I say, it's usually beef or lamb or mutton. So yeah, I hope that helps you understand our delicious steamed steak and kidney puddings, because they really are delicious. And if you're in the UK, or if you can get them elsewhere, dive into them. It's a minced beef, can be minced lamb, can be a few other bits and bobs. You spice up a nice gravy, put that in, sometimes a bit of onion, sometimes even other herbs and things. It's not often you'll go to a chippy and they make their own puddings. So anyway, I'm going to get stuck into this.